This first announcement that we're making, we will be representing FBI Special Agent Garret O'Boyle. You may remember him from his early testimony. He was the FBI agent who blew the whistle on the FBI targeting conservatives, whether it was pro-life Americans, parents going to school board meetings. And what did the FBI do to him? Suspended him without pay after moving his whole family across the country.
No security clearance. They're not allowed under FBI and DOJ guidelines to take outside income that's more than $7,000, so they can't feed their families. And, you know, those of you that have watched the movie Oppenheimer, do you remember what they got him on? Security clearance. Same thing. They eventually restored it. Here, what we are going to do, this is part of our Life and Liberty campaign, and we're announcing it today. We are not just representing them. We are taking this to federal court. By the way, it goes directly to the U.S. Court of Appeals, one step below the Supreme Court.
If one of your really good friends, your former colleagues, came to you and said, I have this thing that is being covered up, and I think the American people need to know about it, what advice would you give them?
I would tell them first to pray about it, long and hard. And I would tell them I could take it to Congress for them, or I could put them in touch with Congress, but I would advise them not to do it.
So you would legitimately try to protect one of your colleagues from doing what you have done?
Absolutely.
And how do you think that solves being able to shine light on corruption, weaponization, any kind of misconduct that exists with the American people?
It doesn't solve it. But the FBI will crush you. This government will crush you and your family if you try to expose the truth about things that they are doing that are wrong. And we are all examples of that.
I can't think of a more sobering way to end a hearing. I yield back.
That is who we're representing.
The FBI will crush you and your family if you tell the truth.
What they did to a guy who just had a 2-week-old daughter, 2-week-old daughter. This is how the FBI treats its special agents who are Iraq and Afghanistan veteran, who is an FBI special agent who, you see, oh boy, is a big dude. He was accepted to a FBI SWAT team unit. You know, that's kind of like front lines of the FBI we're talking about. These are the FBI agents that go in and actually are putting their life on the line because they're going in against the worst of the worst criminals.
Yep.
Take a listen to how they crushed O'Boyle.
In weaponized fashion, the FBI allowed me to accept orders to a new position halfway across the country. They allowed us to sell my family's home. They ordered me to report to the new unit when our youngest daughter was 2 weeks old. Then, on my first day on the new assignment, they suspended me, rendering my family homeless. They refused to release our goods, including our clothes, for weeks.
Politics is just playing an overly disgusting role inside these institutions. They want to speak out, but they've seen what happens when you do speak out. So, folks, the goal here, the long-term goal of this is that whistleblowers are protected inside the executive branch and they're able to speak out when the executive branch is engaged in wrongdoing. Listen to O'Boyle and his congressional testimony.
This smear campaign, disgusting as it is unsurprising. Despite our oath to uphold the Constitution, too many in the FBI aren't willing to sacrifice for the hard right over the easy wrong. They see what becomes of whistleblowers, how the FBI destroys their careers, suspends them under false pretenses, takes their security clearances and pay with no true options for real recourse or remedy. This is by design. It creates an Orwellian atmosphere that silences opposition and discussion. We know what is right to do, yet we too often refuse to do what is right because of the difficulty and suffering it incurs. I couldn't knowingly continue on this path silently without speaking out against the weaponization I witnessed, even if it meant losing my job, my career, my livelihood, my family's home, and now my anonymity.
They are politically choosing who to destroy. So they're destroying the whistleblowers that hurt their narrative that everything at the FBI and the DOJ is fine. And yet they've got these whistleblowers who they've given all these awards to, and they've said how great a job they've done, and who are saying everything is not fine inside the FBI and the DOJ. It has been weaponized against the American people.
One stop away from the Supreme Court of the United States, and that's the reason why we have launched this Life and Liberty Drive. And folks, Garret O'Boyle is one FBI agent that we're representing. There are going to be more.
Fight alongside us. Fight alongside Garret O'Boyle. Be part of his team. Donate today at ACLJ.org. Be part of the Life and Liberty Drive and be part of O'Boyle's team. Be part of these whistleblowers teams who are saying, I need you. They are relying, quote, on charity. That means donations to fight these battles. We fight the battles because of your donations to the ACLJ at aclj.org.